Welcome to the Foundry by Forge College. I am so glad you're tuning into this explainer today because we are going to build a mechanical fortress. Seriously, think of it as hiring a relentless automated bouncer that just stands guard to protect our smart contracts. We're going to take all those theoretical security policies you've been learning and turn them into a cold, hard, absolutely unbribable operational machine. So to set the stage, let's think back to our previous lesson, patterns for synchronized data handling. Okay, so now that our data is perfectly synced and behaving nicely, we face a totally new, absolutely critical challenge. You've written a flawless smart contract. Awesome. But how do you mathematically prove it's safe to deploy before hitting that big red button? We need absolute certainty that the code we deploy is bulletproof, so that a bad commit doesn't just slip right past our defenses. All right, here are the blueprints for today's build. First up, the security gatekeeper. Then we'll move into building the pipeline, securing the secrets vault, gating the deployment, testing the alarms, and we'll wrap it all up with the automated authority. Part 1. The security gatekeeper. Why we actually need an automated bouncer. The core problem we're solving today is that deploying blindly is, it's basically like leaving the heavy iron front doors of your fortress wide open. Without automated enforcement, your security policies, they're just suggestions. So, our solution is a gated deployment. This is a release process where your pipeline point-blank refuses to deploy code unless it passes strict integrity checks. Having branch protections in your version control is great and all, but the CI pipeline is the actual operational authority that enforces those rules right at the gate. Moving on to Part 2, building the pipeline. Let's draft those blueprints. It's time to wire up the alarms and set up our checkpoints. We're following a strictly sequential mechanical flow here. We start at Step 1, checkout. Then Step 2, build and dependencies. Step 3 is integrity checks, which is where our tests run. And finally, Step 4, the gated deploy. This mimics a standard CI workflow file, kind of like a GitHub Actions YAML file. The real magic here is the sequence itself. A job only proceeds if the previous one completely succeeds. It is entirely deterministic. Think of this next part as our technical specification sheet. Every single stage has a specific verification type and an enforcer. Now, you can explore various programs across Forge College that teach you how to manually spot complex smart contract vulnerabilities, but what we're building right here is the system that catches them automatically before deployment. Static analysis checks for vulnerabilities. The test suite runs your unit tests, and that final deploy stage acts as the ultimate gatekeeper, requiring absolutely everything above it to pass. Part 3. The Secrets Vault. Hiding the keys to the kingdom. Let me just be blunt for a second. Hard-coding your deployment keys directly into your repository is literally like writing the combination to your safe on a sticky note and taping it to the front door. Just don't do it. To fix this, we use a CI secret store. This is a highly secure vault within your CI provider that holds your sensitive credentials. It injects your deploy key only at runtime, which guarantees these keys are never, ever committed to the repository in plain text. If you try echoing out your secret directly into your scripts, man, that is a massive red flag. Your CI tool will log that right out in plain text for the whole world to read. No way. Instead, you've got to use an environment placeholder that references the secret vault. When you do it this way, the CI tool automatically masks the secret, completely protecting it from leaking into your build logs. Part 4. Gating the deployment. Time to lock the doors. Okay, so we've drawn the blueprints, we've locked our keys in the vaults. Now we have to ensure the deployment job is rigidly dependent on our integrity checks passing. And this whole thing relies on the concept of fail fast. If an integrity check, like a linter or a unit test, fails, it must immediately return a non-zero exit code. That tiny little signal instantly halts the pipeline. It fails fast, acts exactly like a ruthless bouncer, and literally kicks that bad commit right out of the club before it gets anywhere near your live environment. Part 5. Testing the alarms. Let's run a live drill. Look, we simply can't trust an untested bouncer, right? We actually need to intentionally break a test just to watch this fail-fast mechanism jump into action. When you run your live drill, you're basically looking for 3 main success criteria. First, your integrity checks must trigger automatically on push. Second, your secrets have to be entirely masked in the workflow logs. And third, if you introduce a failing test, the pipeline must strictly block the deployment. You want to see that build job fail and the deploy job remain completely paused. Here's a super quick, practical tip for auditing your codebase.
Just run a simple git grep command in your terminal, searching for your deploy key. If you get an empty search result back, well, you can breathe a huge sigh of relief. It proves your secrets are totally safe from plain text exposure in your files.
And finally, Part 6, the automated authority, trusting the machine. We have officially reached the final handover. Our CI/CD pipeline has been completely transformed from a mere script into an automated authority, one that enforces our release policies without any human bias or, fatigue. To summarize it all, our pipeline is a sequential filter. Building takes seconds. Verification takes minutes. Human approval, if it's needed, might take a few hours, but the actual deploy, instant and perfectly safe. This exact structure perfectly sets us up for the next stages of development, which are continuous monitoring and automated rollbacks.
I really want to leave you with this provocative thought today. If a human can bypass the pipeline, you don't have a pipeline, you just have a suggestion. Let that sink in for a second. Automation only truly works when it is the absolute, unquestionable authority. I highly encourage you to take these principles and apply them to your own workflows right away. And hey, to keep learning about this and to dive into other incredible Web3 related topics, make sure you visit forge.college. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.